Hi, I'm Peter.
And I'm Kenya.
Welcome to the This and That Chat. Anniversary edition?
Whoa!
Wow, you
I said show!
said show. And here I am, I was like in my mind, and I was
Whoa,
like,
my mind right
and I was
now.
going to be like, anniversary edition.
And you know, in my mind, I was going to say a special edition of the This and That Chat.
And
I said
you threw me off.
show.
I think it might be the way we're dressed.
I think so. You look very dapper, my
And
love.
you as beautiful as ever.
I feel like Scarlett. Not that you get it yet, but you will very soon.
On the 17th of May.
Yes. So the stars have written that
is in
you're
reference-
watching Gone with
Gone
the
with
Wind with me for the first time
Finally.
ever.
Yes.
But I do feel so lovely. Nobody can really tell, but my dress is very fluffy,
And very polka dotty.
very polka dotty.
Yeah. And
It's lovely. So why are we dressed up today?
And I pulled out the bow tie.
You know which I wish you had worn the blue one.
For it
I'm
to
just
stick
gonna put
out?
it out there. Yes,
No,
because
but this is the style.
well, yeah, of course you're very
We're
top of the morning to you, sir. What a
thing
tall drink of water you are.
what is this? Goodness.
A vest.
We're dressing to the nines today.
You know, I wonder where that comes from. We should do a whole episode.
Shall we Google? Start it off.
Yes, but I feel like we need to do a whole episode where we give a history of all of these phrases because we use so many of them just recently.
It says,
Go ahead.
dressed to the nines means that someone is wearing very stylish or elegant clothing, implying that they have put a lot of effort into their appearance, often for a special occasion.
Where does it originate from?
It says that the phrase to the nines is thought to be of the Scots origin, with the earliest written example appearing in 7th century stuff.
Really?
That's it.
That's it?
Yep.
There has to be a little bit more history.
Oh.
Oh, see, now
Here's
we
a
get to
little
the
bit of
meat
history.
and potatoes
It
of it.
says that one of the main theories is that it might be a corruption of the phrase to the eyes.
Dressed to the eyes. Oh my god.
But because they're Scottish,
Wow.
dressed to the eyes sounds like dressed to the nines.
I guess. Wow. See, this is why I love this. And actually, I was looking around the room. I do have a book that has all of these popular sayings and where they come from. I love knowing where stuff comes like that from.
You need, what happened?
Wait, where stuff like that comes from. I had a brain fart.
What did you say?
You'll see it. I can't even repeat it right now.
Okay.
But anyway,
I thought you
why
found it. I was
is
like-
this a special episode?
Well, today, as you are watching or listening to this episode,
What are we celebrating?
we are celebrating our 25th wedding anniversary.
That's great. Can we just let that sink
Yeah.
in for a moment?
25 years.
Let that sink in for a moment. That is a quarter century. Do you
Yeah.
understand that? There are companies that were, started 125 years ago. That sounds cool.
But 25 years. You don't see that very much out in the world.
And the whole company thing was just unnecessary.
A random, yeah, I was trying to save you and you just went back to it. You're
Yeah,
like,
I don't know.
You're like, I'm drowning,
I
I'm
don't
drowning.
know why.
Here's
I
a
thought
life
it was the
vest. Hold on.
1900s.
I'm waiting for someone else to come save me.
But how can it have been 25 years already? You know, I was just watching a couple online that I follow, and they're celebrating their 8th wedding anniversary, I want to say. But they've been together for 14 years.
Jeff and Jordan?
Yeah, you just
9
saw
years.
that. Okay. So you just saw that, right? And she put together for this many years, married for this. And a lot of people have that, where you've been together for 3 or 4 years and then you've been married this many. So now it's a cumulative. Ours is not a cumulative.
Ours is it's like ba-bam. It's like the Kendrick Lamar song. Boom, bum, bam, bum, bam,
Bro,
bum, bam.
you've been waiting to use that.
No, you know what the thing is? It's your fault.
My fault.
Yes, because you brought it up to me a couple times. You're like, how does the boom, bum, bam, bam
Yeah,
thing
because
go?
you've got it like in your mind. It's like a replay song for you.
Because you've asked me to do it a couple times.
Yes.
Anyways, so we thought it would be fun to do something a little bit different.
And we chose to do something a little bit different. A, because we've never done it before.
Mm-hmm.
And B, because we've already done an episode in which we said our story,
Yes.
which
It's
you
actually
were supposed
no, it's
to.
episode 2.
Was it? But what was it called?
Oh,
It all started when?
I don't know.
I had wanted
It's
you to.
literally our second.
And it was a part 1 and 2. So there's, if it's episode 2, then it's 2 and 3. That tells you from the beginning how we met, all of that stuff. But give the shout out to that
I'm
episode.
sorry, it was episode 3.
Okay.
Because we had an introductory episode, which
Right.
really doesn't count. It was just kind of
Right.
us introducing ourselves.
Yeah.
So episode 3 was called Once Upon a Time,
And okay.
And then-
it was part 1 of 2.
and then Happily Ever After.
Oh,
So those were the 2. And here, look how crazy this is. Ready?
Yeah.
It's been 21 years, is what it says on that podcast. So
Wow.
4 years.
Wow.
Wow. Hold on. So we're celebrating our 25th wedding anniversary. And
I think we missed that.
we missed it last week.
Wow.
4 years of the
wow.
podcast. We've
4
had a little bit of
Well, we'll do something cool for our 5th anniversary of
There
our
you go.
podcast.
so we got to put
I
it
think
on the
we'll put something for
put
people.
it on the calendar.
Well, we have to put it out there. That's going to be our live episode. We will have everything.
Oh, that's another year from now.
I know.
Okay.
It's something for people to look forward to.
That'll be our
We'll
live
have
episode.
our setup. I think we'll have the 3rd camera by then.
Okay.
We'll have a different thing, and that's how we're celebrating
Deal.
our
You heard it on
5-year
here first.
anniversary.
We're going to do a live episode.
I almost feel like I need tea.
Anyways,
Some crumpets and tea.
so we thought we'd do something a
So
little
we-
bit different.
Yeah, and I was gonna say we do dress up nicely when we go out. Like,
Oh, yeah.
I feel like
Well, they can see
we
it in
like
our
that.
story when we went to The Lion King.
Did we
dressed
ever
up.
talk about the Lion King because it was so amazing?
No.
Oh
No,
my
we
gosh,
didn't.
did we not?
I think we mentioned it
Because we
quickly
made a
and then
video and then I don't remember if we. Oh my gosh.
well, we recorded our friendship episode.
that's when
so
we did that.
we got into a little bit of seriousness.
Oh my gosh! So just a little plug.
And that's another reason. That's another reason why we thought this episode we needed to liven things up a little bit and have a little bit of fun.
Well, I mean, it wasn't all dread.
No, but I'm saying it was a little bit of a different run. But Lion King
Yeah, it
was
was a different thing.
absolutely amazing. So much so that
we
we
can't
got
even gloss over that.
we got tickets for Peter Pan coming up, and we're gonna go to.
But it's yes, and we're going to Fiddler on the Roof.
and Back to the Future next year.
Yes, I mean
So,
all these plans
We've
that we
become
have.
Broadway people.
Listen, but it's not even about Broadway. It was about The Lion King.
Yeah, it was amazing.
I had chills. I had tears in my eyes.
Did we talk about it?
I don't know, but if we did, I apologize because
Yes.
we're talking about it again. But didn't we talk about this too? When I get on something, I just have to talk about it over and over again.
Yes.
And I just want to say, I don't think I told you this, but I had tears. Okay.
Well, I did too.
I had tears
was-
in
it
the
was so
very
good.
beginning where they're singing the Circle of Life
And all the animals came out.
and it was like you're watching the movie and then
We
all of a
did
sudden
talk about it.
everything goes black. My tears, my chills. I was just like,
We did talk about it because now
Wow.
I remember that we talked about the giraffe coming out on stilts, the different height.
I
the
don't feel we
longer stilts
gave
on the
it
back.
the
Not enough.
platform it
Not
needed.
enough.
So just to put this out there, if you have an opportunity to go watch it, I would go watch it again.
Yes.
And it would be brand new all over again.
Yeah, it was amazing.
Especially after I feel I came out so confused from the Nutcracker and disappointed from Riverdance. to go to something like this, I felt
It was redemption.
it was Cirque du Soleil, quality drawn to life. I mean,
Yeah.
that's another one. But anyway, we
We
digress.
talked about John
We digress. We're going in the opposite direction
Yes.
here.
Anyways, we're like 10 minutes in. We still haven't said
I
what we're
know,
doing, but the
that's-
people know.
We haven't said?
No, because you keep on interrupting.
I'm sorry.
So
my
we
grass.
decided that we thought it would be really cool to do some Q&A questions that come from you guys for us to answer.
Yeah.
And I thought we weren't going to get jack.
I thought we were going to get 5.
Yeah.
Honestly,
I thought we were going to get, a few questions and it was going to be
5. It was going to be
it
at
was
the
gonna be
end of the
fun.
episode.
Mhm. It was going to be like a quick bam, boom. That's it.
No, do it again.
Boom, bum, bam, bum, bing, bum, bam. So because we got such an overwhelming amount of questions, we're going to jump like right into it.
We have almost 40 questions.
Almost 40 questions. And some of them are
That's
similar.
Crazy.
Some of them have similarities.
No, they've already been merged.
Oh, they've already been merged.
Yeah, so we would have had
almost,
more.
Almost 40?
Almost 40 with it being merged.
Wow. Hold on. I must take a drink for that.
Yes.
I wish it was alcohol.
So, pretty soon, we'll be toasting. We're going on a cruise.
This episode
For
is
our
brought to you
anniversary.
by Great Value Purified Drinking Water.
Which later we'll have to talk about why you prefer purified water to drinking water.
That's a whole other episode.
That's
That's
a whole
an
other
entire episode.
That's a whole episode about men are spaghetti and women are planets. Have you heard about this?
No.
There's a book.
Spaghetti
that's
and
called
Planets? No, it's not Spaghetti and Planets.
Look it up.
Men are from Mars, women are from Venus.
I know that's the play that they're. Oh, that's where the planet part is coming out of.
Yeah.
Wait. Are you looking it up?
You look it up.
No, you've got to look it up.
You've got to look it up.
Today
Are we
I
going in
can't talk.
Italian?
I can't-
You talk spaghetti and now you're talking Italian? Yeah, you gotta look at it. You gotta look at it up.
Women are spaghetti. Men are spaghetti. Hold on. This is a real book. This is a real book. Remember how Nikki used to say spaghetti?
Paschetti.
Paschetti. How adorable. Okay. It's called Men Are Like Waffles. Women Are Like Spaghetti.
I've never ever heard this.
And it is a book about the contrasting differences of men and women. I thought we should do a similar episode at some point where we talk about toilet paper, drinking water,
Well,
all that stuff.
we'll
More about us.
we'll get into that.
Yes. So,
All right. So how are we gonna
we're
do
going
this?
to jump right into the
Are
questions.
you gonna start? You have some questions. I have some
So this
questions.
is how we did it. We for the family, we asked one of my sisters to collect your favorite sister to collect all the questions so that we would not have any prior knowledge of them beforehand.
And we
So-
also said, what are they gonna ask us? They know us
Yes, some
for
people
so
were like,
long.
yeah, which was
And
the
still-
surprising part. And some even said, should we ask you in private? And I was
You
like,
don't know any questions yet.
nothing
from there.
Nothing.
We
even,
know-
even my brother has sent me a whole list of questions, and in keeping with everything was going to my sister, I opened the phone and I just hit forward without reading anything, and I sent it. That way she could send everything to me. So that is all going to be a surprise. And someone asked, can I send it in private? And I thought maybe it's spicy. I don't know what they're going to ask, but we'll answer as best as we can while keeping everything family friendly.
Okay.
Okay.
Well,
And then we made a video.
A disclaimer to Melvin, because just in case we get spicy.
Okay.
Well, right before we answer that question, we'll be like, spicy content.
Spicy content incoming. And then we put it on our social media and
On everything.
we just invited people, hey, send your questions. And even some people said they were sending questions. We didn't get questions from them. But this is just to say, if you see this later and you think, I missed out, we'll do another Q&A at some
course,
point.
of course.
If the need for it is there. Okay.
Now,
But
here's the cool part.
yeah.
This is the part that we we thought was actually pretty awesome. We got questions from people that we didn't even know were listening to our podcast.
You even had a classmate.
A classmate of mine that she
And let's
didn't
clarify,
ask. Yeah,
because you're not in class right now.
This was in high school. You know, and we've done the social media like distance contact where like, you know, we know their post, they know our post. You like a couple of things here, like, but like no interaction. But she sent a message. She's like, I don't have a question, but you guys are cute together, or you guys are really cute. So I thought that was pretty nice.
Yeah.
For us to like, I didn't even think about that.
Which means she follows the chat.
Yeah.
So this is where we asked a couple episodes ago, who are all these people? So now there's a little bit of wow.
There's some closet listeners that haven't come out of the woodworks yet.
Yeah.
So, but it was nice to get to get a little bit of interaction.
It was a response, and maybe 40 questions is not a big deal for us who were expecting 5.
Yeah.
This is a huge
deal.
So let's not waste any more time. So why don't you start with
No, you start.
With the
social
media?
You have the bigger amounts of questions. So
all right. But I
we'll
want
do
us
a
to
couple
take
on your
turns,
side and then
so
jump
I
over
will
this side.
Let's see. So she said, let me know if PDF looks okay or if you just want it here on as a text. Oh, the PDF looks fine. So I'm going to send you. That way we take turns, okay? All right. So here's first question. I got to turn it sideways so I can see.
Yours is much more organized than mine.
No, that's hers. She put this together for us.
Oh, I know, but I'm saying there's. Oh my goodness.
Mute this, please.
It's like, oh my goodness.
Okay, so question number 1.
It's a whole like.
Question number 1.
Thing.
Dang it! I wish you had said who asked the question. Oh man. Okay, so she did not put on here who asked. Don't read ahead.
No, I was just looking. Okay.
Hold on. You should have said who asked the question.
Are you texting her?
Yes. She should have said that. Okay, but anyway, here we go.
All right.
So question number 1 was, what was your first impression of each other when you met? That's such a great question.
Am I going first?
I love
or are you
this.
Going first?
Yeah. No, you have to go
I'm going first?
Yeah.
I thought you were beautiful.
Boo.
I told you that at the end of our first shifts, we talked about this just a couple episodes, I think. It's because I'm listening to us from the beginning again.
Right.
So I've got this fresh in my mind.
So now you're like, did we talk about this?
I
did
got
we
this
not
fresh
talk
in
about
my
this?
mind. So I knew at the end. What was the question again? First impression. Okay, let me keep it to the question because maybe I don't want to answer something that's already been. First impression, I thought you were absolutely stunning. There was something about you, like there was a mystery about you.
Oh, super mysterious.
That I had to get answers to. Because you were so like, sorry for the word, but it is what it is. You were very prudish.
Yeah,
like,
that's a good way of putting it.
You know, you were long sleeve. Like I saw your hands.
Turtleneck.
Yeah, I saw your hands and your head. Like I didn't even see your neck. You know, and you were just something about you was just like mysterious, and I had to know. It was the fuel to my drive to pursue you.
Wow. And my first impression of you was like what we say, sure, right? What did we say sure about, right? That it was just neither here nor there. I didn't feel immediately attracted to you. I didn't feel like my mind didn't go to attraction at all, right? I saw you were new and you weren't doing anything. And I feel like that was my first impression of you. So again, we're going to keep pointing back to those first episodes. We're going to be pointing back to those episodes so that you go back and you hear the whole story in detail. But I saw you standing there and I just thought, oh, there's a guy. I didn't have a positive or negative thought about you at all. So
I'm going to ask the next question because this is off of our social media. Sorry, I'm going to it. Because I didn't put it on a little list.
And I just want to clarify that the episode is before video. So this is when we were just doing audio podcast. Right,
just audio, yeah.
Our actual episode number 3.
So let's let's see. See, I should have. What's going on here? There we go. So, so there was a question on here that said, "Tell us your love story and how you guys met." So just to kind of go.
Oh, you're reading from a different
This
list.
is yeah. So this is
your
yeah,
social media.
This
list.
is from social media. So I
Got
just
it.
because we that question kind of put us right there. I wanted to kind of answer this one just really, really quick. Now, the actual answer that we're going to give you is go listen to the episode because we do it in such good detail. And it was literally 2 hours worth of content between 2 episodes. So that's going to be the best way to do it. It's at episode 3 and 4.
If you want the long version.
If you want the long version. So the short version was I worked, I moved up to Miami to go to FIU. And I got a job at Home Depot, and
I worked at Home Depot.
You worked at Home Depot, and we met on a hurricane day, and it was absolute chaos in the front, and got mad at me because I was standing around not running a register. So, if you want to hear that story, you got to go and listen to that episode.
But what was the question again?
How did you guys know you were?
No.
Oh no, I'm sorry. Tell us your love story and how you guys met.
Well, see, but there's more to that. How we met, there was that part. The love story, all of that gets answered in those episodes.
Right, but that's what I'm saying, to get the full answer to that question.
But to fast forward and give the love story part, that was in September. And by...
It was in August.
No, it was a September hurricane.
August.
I remember it was September.
August.
I remember.
August. You remember last week when you said the wrong. Oh no, that was in the episode. Listen to the episode, people. She gets the date wrong of our wedding. She says April 4th.
I didn't know.
Oh yes.
Oh, did I?
April 4th instead of April 8th. Okay, the wrong number of years that we're together, and now you're gonna argue with me that it was in September and not August.
It was September.
Oh, no, it was August. It was August because it was right when school started.
It was September. School starts at the end of August.
I'm telling you, I started right before school started. I wasn't at
But
FIU
didn't we
yet.
look up the hurricane?
No, we never found it.
We never found it.
It was August. In
Okay,
September,
see, waffle and spaghetti over
waffle
here.
and spaghetti. Anyways, so
either way, point being that by January we were together. So there was a lot of ups
living
and
together.
downs. There was a lot of ups and downs from there to the point where it was like, okay, it's like this is not going to work out.
It was
like,
a lot of fast
you
forwarding.
tried dating somebody else. Like there was a lot, and that's why we do it a disservice if you don't go and listen to the episode.
100%.
So
100%.
that's where that is. But it was I always like to say it was a whirlwind romance where it just sort of came, just like that hurricane. It just came out of nowhere.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, we've
you
been
know what
married
I'm
for
gonna do?
25 years.
I'm gonna take a screenshot.
All right. So
And then I
next
have
question. All right.
Yes.
Because we can't lollygag because we have 40 questions. So if you could give one piece of advice to your younger couple self, right, what would it be? This is fantastic.
Like
Whoever asked
giving-
this question.
Okay. Are we giving ourselves advice?
It's like if you and I could go back and give our younger self
Oh,
as
my
a couple
goodness.
some advice.
Sheesh.
So I'm gonna start with this one because I am passionate about this
Okay.
one. All right. Oh, conserve and invest and only care about your unit.
Good one.
Oh my gosh. It makes all the difference. I think that when couples start out, you start off with so many ideals, right? Where it's like our families are going to get together and we're going to do stuff and it's going to be a certain way. And then
it's
reality.
a 1-year-old birthday party for my third cousin on the second side, twice removed.
Forget that part. It's our child's first birthday party.
Goodness.
And of course the family's all going to come together.
That's in our one of our beginning episodes too, where we talked about that.
You know, so and I remember our younger selves trying to make everyone else happy, We would have two birthday parties. We would had to split up the holidays. We're with you. We're not with you. We can't be with you because we have to be with them. And we have to leave at a certain time because they're expecting us. And it was like, wait a minute. You are a family. You are a family. And if other people want to be in your life and involved with your family, they need to meet you where you are. And that is hardcore to tell somebody who's young because they're going to think, no,
Yeah.
that's a little,
Oh, but we're too. Yeah.
it feels harsh, right?
thing is
Because
you
you've
kinda- you
got
kinda
to put
want-
boundaries that many people just don't have.
And you don't. Sometimes what you don't want to do is sever some ties.
But
So
if
that's why
if a
you're
tie gets
complacent.
severed,
Yeah, but that's
because
why,
of
that's why
that,
you're complacent to other people.
absolutely. But it's the thinking about the bluff, right? Like when you bluff someone that you don't really think is going to do something and then they show you, oh, they were not prepared to carry out their threat. I feel like that's the problem, is that people are worried. Oh no, the parents are going to get hurt, or the family's going to get hurt, or we're going to have conflict now and all that stuff, right? And mind you that when you're a young couple, you're very fragile. You may be like head over heels in love and you feel like nothing can break you apart. Your family is a huge contributor to breaking you apart.
Yeah.
As well intentioned
huge.
as they may
Yeah.
be.
And
okay.
and using that same line, and as unintentional as it may be,
right.
they still cause a wedge between you and your
And the
spouse.
thing is,
and
they
your
cannot
new-
cause a wedge unless you
Allow
allow
them.
them to cause a wedge. And it took us, oh my God, maybe the first 10 years of
Way
us
too
being
many.
married for us to say, whoa, the buck stops here.
Mm-hmm.
And if you don't like it, you don't like it. Like, we stopped going to holidays. We started saying, if you want to see us, you'll see us on our terms. And if you want to be part of our kids' life, you'll be there. And if you don't want to be, that's on you.
and we're
like
better for it.
Oh my gosh.
The crazy thing is, and
oh
here-
my gosh, so much better
and
for it.
I'll throw this into that, and then I'll answer my side of this. Relationships that were severed because of our stand have been reconciled, and these words have come out of those people's mouths. You guys were right in doing what you did. We see it now. Apologies years later, because they recognized that, hey, you know what? You guys were 100% right. That shows us that advice is on solid ground.
Solid.
So
Solid.
here's some more good solid advice, because I'm ready for mine. I was busting at the seam for mine.
Okay. Oh, you've got a different one.
I got a different one.
Ooh, tell me.
From the beginning, if you're bought in, which when you decide to get married, you're usually bought in. Okay? Honesty with your partner. Like, not trying to say the thing that they like, but being honest with yourself, with what you like, with what you want, with how you want. Like, being those things with your partner goes such a long way.
And
How long did it take for us? I'll be honest, and I'm not gonna even. I won't even like hold back on it to say that. Oh, it was 15. No, it was 3 or 4 years ago, less than that. That we finally were 100% honest about things that we kept from each other because we were trying to do everything the way it would make the other person 100% happy. You asked me a question the other night, that the other day on the other podcast, that I couldn't answer 100%. What's the biggest lie you've ever told? And I couldn't share it, but that goes into play with this. If I would have been honest with you from the way, way, way beginning, how many less arguments would we have had
I don't know.
about that?
Yeah, but I don't know. I just think that I love what you're saying, because there's so many things that we feel are very tiny things, right? And that for the sake of the other person, we need to keep those things to ourselves. Maybe because we've already committed to one narrative and so we can't shift now to a different narrative. And you don't think that they're going to be problematic. And the thing is, I think a lot of people may get to the end of their life never having divulged all those things, never been 100% honest and all that stuff, right? And they will never know what difference it could have made had they done that, right? But on a different note of what you're saying, I feel that young couples come in with so many expectations, right? Because of what they've been able to see. But when you're dating, you're showing one side of yourself, your best side, right? And you have shared things, a lot of listen,
No,
a
I'm
lot
saying
of couples
you dress up differently. Yeah.
right. You
do
talk
that little
differently.
extra,
I mean, everything.
yeah.
Everything is different. But what I'm saying is a lot of couples they feel that even right now, I'm sure they're listening and they're saying, "Well, that was my past before. I don't need to bring these things up to this person." And the thing is, at the end of the day, right? People are asking us what we think about stuff. This is not the law of the land,
course.
right? So if there is someone out there who says, well, I feel like I cannot tell my partner that I lied and I said that I had only slept with 2 people, but it's actually been 52 people, right? Because they're going to see me in a different light. We're
Yeah.
not telling
It's hard.
you have to go do this.
It's not easy, especially if you've been together for years and all of a sudden you're going to bring this up.
But the fact that honesty at the end of the day is better than deception, at whatever the cost, it is better, So you just have to find your path there.
Yeah.
But with expectations, right? If you have said, oh, yes, I like things a certain way, now you've set up your spouse to fail right off the bat because they're coming into it thinking, this is where you're at. Let me meet you there. But because you haven't been honest about stuff, you've created these false expectations. And now the spouse is just never going to meet those needs.
Yeah.
Right? And it's unfair. It's unfair to set up your spouse that way. But I think it's easier when it comes to being honest about something may be hard, right? I know like for women, this is a very sensitive topic, but perhaps a woman's had an abortion, right? And they feel like that was my past life. I can't say this to the man I'm marrying. I feel that with time, I can look back and think of all these things that I felt like you can't say, right? That has to go to your grave with you, right? Why, right? Because what's the worst that's going to happen? This person is going to say, oh, I can't marry you anymore because you did this, right? Are they not revealing something about themselves at that moment where they can't show you the mercy that you need at that moment, the kindness, the support, the compassion that you need at that moment?
The honesty allows for you to be your most genuine self to
Right.
each other.
And if the other person responds negatively,
Yeah.
what happens 20 years from now when this comes out? Because the truth is always going to find its way out of its hiding place, right? And what happens 20 years from now when that happens is that now this person feels for 20 years, you've lied to me.
Well,
It's very different than me
you're
saying
saying it with conviction because that's what happened. It was 20 years down the line. And one day randomly, I was like, hey, I've got to tell you something. Because it was something that I really started to think about. And I was like, this is something I don't need to. And somebody else may hear it and be like, that's so insignificant.
I know.
It's so tiny.
I know.
How was that even a thing? But the thing is, it was work to keep it that way.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
all right. So
all right,
you read me
next
one of
question.
yours. Okay.
All right,
Yeah. Because we spend a lot of time on that one.
Yes. All right. So
We can easily get carried away.
So what was the moment that you knew your spouse was the one?
Okay. All right. Well, when I knew was the night that you invited me to listen to music in your car. That was my night.
All right, so here, I got to jump in.
Okay.
I love this
Okay.
because I did a little bit of work and listened to those episodes where some of these questions were answered. Not knowing that these questions were going to be asked.
Okay.
That was your answer.
Well, because that's what it is.
That's what it is.
It is
and
what
my
it is.
answer will be the same.
Okay.
That night that I met you, I told my cousin.
That same night.
The same night I went and I told him, I was like, bro, that is the girl I'm going to marry. And he looked at me and said, you are crazy. And I said, maybe I am, but that's the girl I'm going to marry. I knew it. There was something about you. I listen, I had girlfriends in high school. I dated. I went around. I had like I explored. And you stopped me dead in my tracks. Dead in my tracks. I still can't explain it.
Wait. Has the mystery been solved?
No. It's the only reason I'm still
Yes!
here 25 years later. Okay.
The mystery remains.
And the mystery is enough for me to keep going. Just like my list. If the mystery ever gets solved,
that's it.
I'm trading you in.
So I'm part of
one.
Unsolved Mysteries.
Unsolved Mysteries. Right, I'm gonna read the next one.
Wait, you just read one.
I know. I'm just gonna go to the
All
next
right, go to the next one.
You can
Wait.
Oh,
Number 3. What was the moment you knew your spouse was the one? So I feel like we just answered that.
That's the question I read.
I just asked you if you were taking ones from social media.
No, I just read that question. No. How am
No
I
wonder
ever?
I was like, wow, it's the same question.
How am I ever gonna solve a mystery if this is what I have to solve?
And it gets more confusing as time goes by.
No.
I think I've like hypnotized you into the Alice in Wonderland.
Let me tell you,
Wonderland.
I'm not used to dressing like this. I'm ready to take it off.
Okay, go.
All right, I'm gonna read the next one on there. Oh
my
man!
God.
All right, if I like this question,
Okay.
if you can take a second honeymoon anywhere, where would it be and why?
Ooh.
Can we talk about our first honeymoon?
Yes. And when was it?
And we're done. Next.
Wait. Our first honeymoon happened when we were 15 years
Yeah.
into our marriage.
Mm-hmm.
That was our very first honeymoon. We didn't get to take a honeymoon because we were poor as mice. I always tell this story to people. You know that? Even at work. I tell them that when we got married on wishes and dreams.
Mm-hmm.
And we didn't even have a pair of pennies to rub together. We had one.
So we
Okay.
we had a chance to go to SeaWorld right after we got married for a week, for like a weekend, and it was paid by MasterCard, and dinner
Bro,
was
I had a baby.
no.
Yeah. Because you're talking about the SeaWorld trip, the one SeaWorld trip that
Oh,
we
that's
went
right.
with
Mike
your
was already
uncle. And yeah.
Yeah.
So that was
Yeah.
many months after. So
No, a year at least.
almost. Yeah. Right about then.
All right, so second honeymoon. What would you
So here's the thing. Right now, we're living our best life, are we not?
Mm-hmm.
We travel wherever we want, whenever we want. So I feel that when I think about a honeymoon has to be super over the top, right? You can't just say a cruise to the Mediterranean. That doesn't do, right? We can do that next weekend, right?
Mm-hmm.
So for me, it would be the ultimate European trip where we get to go to Germany and Austria and Scotland. Didn't I give you all these places already?
Yep.
Like there's
Well,
a whole
we've been looking at it,
itinerary.
hoping that we can do it. in the future here soon.
And it's about the time we would have to take off and the logistics of going by ourselves versus
Honestly, it's working the logistics more than anything.
more than anything.
Because
but that to
that's
me
something that we want to do.
would be an incredible, because we're planning a Greece trip, but to me that's not a honeymoon. That's just something we're planning
going
on
to Greece.
doing. But yeah, I've always wanted to go
I think
to the Alps
Yeah.
and to Austria and to Germany.
it would
and-
definitely be a European trip, because the stuff on this side we can go to and we have been going to. Like, we've got Vegas later on in the year, which is something that we've talked about.
I don't think we talked about that.
No, that we've talked about.
Oh,
That we've talked about doing. I know we've got like New York is in there. We've got like destinations that we want to go to, but those are destinations that we
DC
can
for next anniversary.
Yeah, that we can make happen here with us. But I think it would have to be a European trip.
I just want to
because
put a little.
the exploration of the old countries.
Oh my gosh, yes.
Yeah.
The thing is, there's so much history. And there's so much, such a different life out there. So much food and so many buildings and beautiful things. I mean, there's, I just wanted to put a little side note here, how when we talk about this, our dog sitter, who, by the way, I just want to put a shout out to our dog sitter. I don't think I've ever done that, but nobody has one like we do. I don't think, right? She not only dog sits, she house sits for us, but she loves our dog, right? I will venture to say more than we love our dog, and that's going to cause a riot, okay? But I feel like this is her baby, right?
Well, we call her auntie.
So she's so amazing, and it's such peace of mind for us when we travel, knowing he's good, the house is good, and we can trust her. Like, we let her have parties here and all that stuff, and we trust her, and it's so amazing to have that. And I can't even think about the day when she gets married and she moves away, and it's like, but what will I do without her, right? But it's so funny that at the beginning of the year I was trying to help her get organized and for her to tell me where she could and couldn't watch the dog, because we have a lot of trips planned. And I sent her the first half of the year, and she was like, oh my God, this is so helpful. I love how organized and how ahead of the game we are and all that stuff. And I was like, oh, well, I was only sending you half. Just
You
so
want the other half?
you were not overwhelmed, but I actually have it all planned out until next year. And in fact, if you look at our calendar, we're planned out until April of next year. We're not even April.
We have some gaps.
We're planned out a year in advance. Yeah, for major stuff.
We have some gaps, but we have major stuff already in the books.
Yeah, already in the books. So who would have thought that would have been us? Anyway, I think we deviated from that question terribly.
Right. So I read question number 4, so you can go to number 5.
Okay, you don't have anything from social media to read?
Yeah, I'll jump over to social media in a bit.
All right, so this is, what is one of your favorite memories from your early years together? Wait a minute. I didn't talk about the car.
What car?
How I knew. You interrupted me and you said you loved this. I have to go back and I just have to say this because everybody's like, whoa.
Wait a minute.
What happened? You're
Hold
welcome,
up.
people.
Wait a minute.
I remembered.
It's a chopper.
But there was a night that you invited me to go sit in your car and listen to music, right? Mm-hmm. As innocent and naive as I was, I thought it was really just to listen to music in the car. Which
it was.
It was just to listen to music in the car. But I think if anybody heard that now, they'd be like, come on, that's not what he wanted, right? Maybe if I had been a different type of girl, maybe it would have been more.
The mystery would have been solved.
Okay, right. But we sat there and you played music, and I only remember one song that played, only one, because I wasn't allowed to listen to secular music, so I had zero idea what I was hearing. There was nothing that stuck out. I remember.
Is it the song that gives you 18 seconds in the beginning?
Oh, no, no, it wasn't that one. No, but I remember
Brian McKnight.
that's it. I remember that song.
Back at One.
Okay, that's
Which
it.
we played at our wedding.
Which we did, right? Because I feel like that's the night that we knew, right?
Well,
But
the night you knew.
that's true
I
because
already-
you
I
already
already
knew.
knew.
You already knew. But these are the things that stick out to me from that, right? Was one, the bucket seat. I had never sat in a car that
Bro,
had
you
a
talked
bucket
about
seat.
this in the
Stop
in
it!
the podcast.
Oh my
Yep,
gosh!
in the episode too.
Wow, wow. And I'm sure I did not say this part, but I remember you had a very fancy CD player.
Yes.
You were lying to me.
I'm dead
You were
serious.
lying
I will show it to you afterwards.
I don't believe you.
Yeah.
Wow. So
were
that
like,
people do
hold on.
not ever
If-
question our
keep going.
No, that's it.
No,
I
keep-
can't. I'm scared.
Keep going, because there's one more thing that you said. There's one more thing you said, and I know you're gonna say it.
No, no, that was a fluke.
Okay.
That was a fluke.
You have
because
nothing
the
else?
only other thing that I was gonna say was that it's dark and that it was cold, and that's it. My beeper. That's the only. I cannot believe it.
I'm dead. I am dead.
I cannot.
Bro, I'm dead. Dead.
Stop it! You're freaking me
Dead.
out.
Dead. You said you have this fancy CD player with all these CDs and stuff, and the only
Stop.
thing I had was a beeper.
Stop it! Oh my god.
Dead.
I feel like I'm in the Twilight Zone right now.
Dead.
Oh
Dead.
my god.
Dead. I knew it. I knew it. That's why I said just keep going because you're gonna say it.
So, if anyone ever doubts our authenticity,
Oh my god, I'm
okay? If anyone ever thinks these stories are made up, how can you quote verbatim? Those are the things that are engraved in my mind.
dead. Oh my goodness. And yet you can't
And-
remember that it was August, not September.
No, okay.
Or the
I
date
am gonna
of-
find that hurricane, and it was in
All right.
September because I had a diary.
Next question.
I had a diary.
Bro, my cheeks are gonna be hurting so much at the end of this thing. Oh my
Okay.
goodness. All right.
Okay.
Number 5.
Wait. I never asked.
I know. I'm
I
asking
went
you to
back.
Go.
Okay, so what is one of your favorite memories from your early years together?
Oh my goodness. Can I tell you? This is gonna be a weird memory, but because it's from the beginning,
Okay.
I have to put it out there.
All right.
How mischievous we were.
I love that you rectified yourself.
Yeah. There were things that we did that were so bad. Like we had no pennies to rub together. All right, we didn't have one penny to rub on the floor.
Mice in winter are richer
Okay.
than we were.
Yeah. All right, and the things that we like, our kids always had some kind of toy.
And we had no food stamps. I just want to put it
Yeah.
out there because even the government did not feel
Yeah.
like we qualified for help.
We weren't poor enough.
Even though we were starving.
I remember, we put Kmart out of business.
We're the reason.
Because the things that we did, we would buy toys for the kids. The kids would play with the toys all week. Okay? Then we would return the toys
And
to
get
buy
diapers.
diapers and milk. Mm-hmm. When the check came in, we would buy another toy for the kids. They would play with it all week. We would return it, and it was a ongoing cycle. Those memories were fun. I'm sorry. I know that it's stuff that we did that is frowned upon, like for people. But you know what, bro? We did what we did because we had to take care of what we had to take care of.
And that's a favorite memory for you?
That's one of my favorite. I love telling that story.
Wow. Wow.
My guys don't believe it.
They don't believe it? The
How
thing
in
is
the
if
world
we
could the
would-
store actually take back the stuff that's already been used?
'Cause
And I'm
we would
like,
keep
bro,
everything.
I would put that stuff back in the plastic.
I knew exactly how to take plastic in my hairdryer and reseal things.
Bro, it looked.
I became an expert at taking out the little plastic thing for the tag and sewing it right back. Oh my god. Don't give our secrets away.
We said we would do anything criminal for each other,
That's
and
true.
we're good. Next question. Next question.
So,
Oh, what's yours?
oh my gosh, it's just I feel like our life is like a movie. If you think about
Well, don't.
all the
Okay,
different
answer the
things.
question because the next.
know.
I looked at the next question to
Oh,
ask
okay.
it, and it
It's
goes there.
going there. So I feel like my mind it just keeps going back to something. Um, and this may be a little broad, but I really loved our years in the Keys.
Okay.
There was something slow about our life there.
Oh,
Even though you had
100%.
3 jobs, 4 jobs at some point, okay? And we were poor and we had nothing. There was something slow about life there.
I
And
would give it all up and go back.
listen, and I feel
It
like
really
we
was a
needed that.
different world.
We needed that for us. I think it was where we solidified ourselves as a unit. And I remember you never ever coming home when the sun was down.
Mm-hmm.
You would come home and we would go to the park or we would go to the beach. We would walk around. I mean, there was just something so slow and peaceful about life there that to me, it's favorite times, even though in the grand scheme of things, we were at very dire straits in those times.
Yep.
So that's what came to me. Okay, go. Number
All right,
6.
Number 6. If you could describe your marriage in a movie title, what would it be?
Wow, that's an excellent, excellent question. I wish I had names so I could be thanking the person for their thing. You go first.
Titanic.
Bro,
I'm just kidding.
of course you would. Of course you would say that. As a movie
Oh my goodness.
title.
As a movie title? Oh my goodness. I would have to say
Bro, I'm disappointed in
Do
you.
you have something?
Right off
Okay,
the bat.
go. What do you got? You obviously you have something.
No, I don't. Go.
Oh my goodness. It would have to it wouldn't be like a title of a movie that's already out.
Yes. Do you?
That's
you
not what it's
cannot-
asking.
You can. What?
It's asking if as a title of a movie. Like we can make up
Yeah.
our own
Oh.
title. It doesn't have to be like a title of a specific movie. Thing
Ah.
is-
Then I got it.
okay, what do you got?
I don't think that's the question. So this is where we're gonna differ. I feel like this is an existing movie title,
Okay.
but for me, our movie title would be. But wait, there's more.
But wait, there's more.
That's it.
I'm going to agree with you. I think no, it honestly,
Because
but
that,
wait,
that
there's more.
sums up so
Every
much.
single-
The highs, the
yep.
lows,
And the ups
the
and downs, the
craziness
left
of
and
our
right.
life.
But wait,
It's the infomercial because we used to do that a lot at night. Because Mikey was a night owl, poor thing.
bro.
No,
Yeah.
what happened?
I'm listening to our episode again.
I can't with you. You're freaking me out.
I'm telling you,
You're
you have
freaking
to
me
go
out.
back. I'm asking everyone to go back and listen to this episode because it's impossible that you are. It's like you listen to it and you're just repeating it word for word.
Oh my god. Okay,
hold on.
wait. Before we continue, can we do a time check real quick? Because I'm scared.
Don't worry about it.
Oh god.
It's gonna be a
okay.
long episode.
It's gonna be a long.
And
Wait,
they
should we
can-
do a part 2?
No, it's gonna be one long episode.
One
however long it
episode.
is,
Okay.
they can listen to it in parts. It doesn't matter. This is a Joe Rogan style episode. It is. So, should I go to one of the social media ones?
Yes.
All right. So, we have a question from Instagram,
Okay.
and that question is: in the dry seasons of marriage, how do you liven things up?
Okay. Can we clarify?
Okay.
What does the dry seasons mean? Because To me, it sounds like we're getting a little spicy here.
No, it doesn't need to be spicy. I think it could
Are
be.
we talking about when you're bored
Well, yeah,
and
I
you
would
kind of
say,
don't like the other person?
yeah,
That's what
like
we're
when
talking
when it
dry.
gets tough.
Okay.
Let's go
Because
with that.
it says, well, how do you liven things up?
Yeah, how do you get it? How do you get the spark back up?
So here's maybe very unconventional thoughts, right? But when it's dry, right? There's really nothing to spark you when you're in that dry place, right? And I feel like what we have done in our marriage is sometimes we have to force ourselves to do things, even though we don't want to do those things in that season, because at some point it is sort of like you're rubbing those two together, and at some point it's going to catch,
There's
right?
there you can hit the two pieces together, the steel and the flint. It sparks, but it doesn't catch.
Right.
And
But
that
at some point
that's a
it will.
normal that's a normal thing. The key here is that you keep striking the flint with the steel.
So I would say it's having awareness that you're in the dry season, right? Because I think it takes a little bit to actually acknowledge it, because one partner will notice it first before the other one, and the other one is going to be in denial for a while, right? No, nothing's wrong, nothing. But and right? I was actually, sorry, I got to go on a little bit of a tangent, but I was actually just reading something about this, right? How there is that whole thing that comes up with partners who'll be like, something's wrong, but the other person will say nothing. And through words and actions, there's nothing definitively that you could take to a court of law and say, here's the proof, right? But it's because we, being spiritual creatures as well, sense things in a way that only senses can pick up. So your senses actually get tingled, right? That something is off before words or actions show it. And you have to trust that. That's why when people say trust your gut, that's why. But going back to that, I feel like the times where we have found ourselves there, right? You have always been really good about keeping a consistent date night. And there are times that we have gone on date night where we don't want to be on date
We
night.
don't like each other.
But we go on date night because we have to go on date night. And it's okay for that to happen, because we're doing something now because it's good for us, not because we're doing it out of a pleasure place. And I see that with your work, for example. Like, I love my job. But there's sometimes I don't want to get up and go to work. I have to go to work because I have to be dependable and someone's expecting me there. And that's the kind of person I want to be. But I don't want to be there.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean I want to quit my job. And I think too many people in society see it as, well, if you feel like you're dry, then that means the spark is gone and you just need to move on and leave this, right? But the thing is that you're going to find your rhythm again. It's just you're off a little bit, right? And if you maintain your routines of doing things together, right? Because it's always about that coming back together. Eventually you sort of sync up again, and then you find your rhythm again, and
So I'll take
you're off again.
I'll take a similar route.
In a good way.
I'll take a similar route, but with a little bit of direction.
That's the next question.
So, is it the next question?
Yeah, you'll see.
Oh, okay. So for me, it took me a while to take this point or take this
Stance.
but you do this very well. When we are at odds or we're in that space where we're just not the best of friends, you take it upon yourself to serve me in the little things. Like, for example, having my clothes in the room in the morning. Like, that's something that I do every single morning. I get up, I'm the first one up. I go to use the bathroom, whatever. When you go into the bathroom, I'll grab my clothes from the laundry room. I'll bring you your clothes and I'll put it there. But like when there's just like a little bit of it's like not quite like you'll tell me, "Hey, I got your clothes already. It's here in the room." It's almost like an acknowledgement of, I know that we may not be friends right now, but I still care for you. And it's kind of like a reminder to me that it's okay for us to not be in the same place. And what that does is that sometimes even makes you realize that you may be the problem in that situation. You may be the reason you're in a dry space because you're not mentally there, but the other person is. So by you doing that, you're letting me know, hey, I know that there's something here that maybe is not great. I'm still here. And then it makes me think, I'm like, okay, let me just do some evaluation. And sometimes that may be just what I need, is the moment of evaluation to realize that, hey, hold on a second. I'm not taking care of her the way I should, and it's causing some dry spells to happen. And just that in itself may allow it to come out of that season and start to bloom again. So,
And I feel that we have not, like, I don't know what constitutes a dry spell, because I feel like we've been through a week, and that's a long time. A week where we've been off. Usually it doesn't go past a couple days. But months and months and months, there's twice in our 25 years that we've been through the dark days. You know, and there was more going on.
there was a lot more going on.
Beside that wasn't even us, you know. So I don't know what someone would think about it, but I feel that if we were to find ourselves in a month of a dry spell, I feel like an intervention is necessary then.
Yeah.
Because if it's been a month and we are not clicking again, something is off, and so now you need to sit down and talk.
It's okay to sit with somebody else, not a friend. A neutral party sometimes is the best. Is the best because they're not invested to pick one side or the other. They're just there to really facilitate. Really, it's not really to give advice or to push direction one way or the other, but just kind of
Sometimes
help facilitate,
you need to
just to
speak
have it.
things out loud. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Kind of like our therapy sessions with the podcast, who have been very helpful. Question, go. What's the one that I almost answered?
So you almost answered this one. So what's a personality trait of the other that complements yours?
Oh my goodness.
Shall I go first?
No, I'm gonna go first.
Okay, go.
The fact that you are absolutely insane to my boring personality sometimes.
Well, we're kind of going in the same direction.
I feel that over the 25 years, there is now enough of you rubbed off on me and enough of me rubbed off on you that we're not quite neutral, because you're still crazier than I am, or kooky, or whatever you want to put under that. But it takes me out of that really strict mindset of things. I think I'm definitely a lot more fun now.
I agree with you. I agree with you. I feel that you're complimenting me way too much in saying that some of you has rubbed off on me, because there's
a little bit.
I feel like I'm
you wouldn't
still
have gone through
as
school.
Quirky as ever.
No, you wouldn't have made it through school if it wasn't for a little bit of my
rub-off. I mean, then, you know,
I'll take that. That's enough.
I tip my hat to you, because what I was going to say about that is the thing that complements me from you is your stability. You're you're an anchor, and you're so stable, and you're so linear, right? And you're everything I am not in that. And I feel like that gives me security, right? While it balances out all of my flightiness and my all over the place, you know, my compass is like the compass in Pirates of the Caribbean that does not point north. It just goes wherever it wants to. That's me, you know.
It
And
points
so
to me. And then I
Yeah.
have to use my compass to take us to where we gotta go.
so I feel like it's
We just
such
complement
a
each other very
beautiful
well.
compliment. Yeah, it is. But it's like that meal that you have that it's like,
But here's the thing:
why am I thinking Asian?
if we
Like I need chopsticks right now.
If
and,
we
like,
were to
some
take
ginger and
you-
soy sauce.
if we were to take you and take me and try and pair us up somewhere else, it would be disastrous.
It would be
It truly is yin and yang.
so much so.
All right, so I'm gonna ask this question
All right.
because this one almost sits with this, so we can just elaborate just a little bit.
Okay.
This one was on YouTube. It says, after 25 years, what is it that you both appreciate about each other the most and why? So, my answer to that is I appreciate your quirkiness, your uncaring personality,
No, it is rephrased.
your
My carefree
your
person.
carefree personality. Whatever. Your carefree personality, because it keeps me grounded and not wanting to be perfect all the time. It allows me to
Shouldn't
make
it
mistakes.
unground you?
Whatever. Obviously, my words are jumbled.
I do feel like you're so much more fun now where you laugh a lot more. You're a lot more easygoing. We were just having a conversation about
week?
your stress. How you used to be
and
a
I
man
have,
who would drown
and
in
I
a cup
have
of water.
the same stress, if not more.
Yeah.
And I feel like I it's
Managing a
completely
business,
very different.
absolutely. But you don't hold on to things the way that you were before. Leah would give you a star for unbothered status.
I don't need a star from Leah.
But she was gonna give you one kindly, and now she'll be like, you don't
She's
want
not gonna
it.
give it to me anyway.
Well,
She's
whatever.
gonna.
Listen, but repeat the question for me again, because
The question
squirrel.
says, after 25 years, what
Yeah.
is it that you both appreciate about each other most, and why?
So, I appreciate your patience with me. So much so because I feel that anybody who meets you anywhere else, I feel you come across very intimidating and very brash with your words. You have a strong personality.
Do I still look like I'm pushing people off when I'm just standing around?
When it depends, because you do something where you like put your arms across your body, right? And it depends. Sometimes you look like that, like you're very standoffish and very closed off. But I've always known a different side to you, right? And so to me, I feel like you shouldn't be patient with me. My mind is all over the place. I'm going to share something maybe you weren't thinking we were going to share, but we just lost over $100 worth of food in our fridge outside because I went out there last night and I opened the fridge to grab a drink and I did not close the fridge. And I'm appalled that I would do something like that because that's never happened before. Naturally, I'm thinking I'm just having early onset dementia, because how else can I explain this, right? And you went through the cameras to check if a raccoon had come over because there's a creature who lives in our yard. We know this, the wallaby, remember? Mm-hmm. And you look, and there wasn't even an attempt to close the door.
No,
there was just a open, grab, gone.
You literally walked out there,
And
opened it, and just,
And I know I'm squirrely, right? I don't know if I ever shared this on the chat before, but we have a sink in our laundry room, and I was soaking some bed sheets or something in there, and I left the sink running so that it would fill up with water, and we left to dinner. And when we came back 2 hours later, the sink was running, the entire laundry room was flooded, and that was me who just forgot to come back to that. And I am aware that I'm very easily distracted and that I have to be focused, and you do that. Like, you help me focus. You keep me focused. You tell me, "No, don't do that. Come over here." And I feel that that's you being patient with me, while you have never made me feel like I'm disabled. I have to say it that way. Okay. Like, I am less than. You just meet me where I am and you give me the tools for me to be successful. And what a horrible thing this morning to find out that all of our food was spoiled on our outside fridge because I was in a whole other world. Mind you, I wasn't feeling well, but still, I've been worse off than I was yesterday, and that hasn't happened. So stuff like that to me is, you know, warms my heart. Go on.
Next question.
Oh my God, I'm scared. How much time have we gone in here? I think we've got to do a 2-part episode.
No, we're going. We
no
are.
one is gonna sit through this.
They can pause it and come back.
They can?
Of course.
Okay, go on. Are you reading something? Or did I read something?
I'll just ask the next question on
Okay.
YouTube. Okay, so what is the most important lesson that you have learned together and why?
I kind of sort of feel like that was giving advice to our younger self. I would,
A little
you
bit.
know, say that in there. But the most important lesson, you know, don't live by what other people expect, what society expects, I would even say question your upbringing. I'm taking it that far, you know, because there's so many people, like we were just seeing something where people were raised in a cult and they had like these ideas of the world and everything like that that were just so out there. You can't just blindly follow. I would say question everything that you know, and find where it is that you land in all of those things, because the ideals of our parents may not be the ideals that we have in our life. You know what I'm saying? The good intentions of friends and their good, you know, advice that they have. That's
our
something
last episode.
that's something that could have worked for them. That doesn't mean that it lands with you. So I think that there is a little bit of selfishness that is required in a marriage in order to preserve the flame of your marriage, where you need to ask what's right for you and me first before what's right for my parents, what's right for my family, what's right even for our kids. I know this is a little bit controversial, but I am on the side where your kids are not everything. And if you live your entire marriage for your children, wake up, because you're going to get to the end of your marriage without your spouse. Because there needs to be that.
I actually
needs to be treasured
heard-
above all.
And I forgot who it is. It's some random rapper. He's famous. I can't remember who. He was asked on a podcast. They asked him, if your wife and your son fell off of a boat and you had to choose someone to save, who would you save? And without hesitation, he said his wife. And they were just like completely appalled. And he says, it's not that I wouldn't try to save my son, but I would save my wife first. That's my wife. He was saying that he loved his wife before he loved his son. His life is built around the relationship that he has with his wife. She's important to who he is. So that's where he immediately would go. And then he said, of course I would do everything in my power to be able to save my son, but I would save her first. And they were like criticizing him a little bit about it. I'll look for it and I'll show it to you.
Wow. I mean,
But
and those are fighting words.
It's a hard answer. You know, like how do you properly answer that without offending someone or
Someone.
making your kids feel like, wow, you do that? Like, it. There's no right answer. At the end of the day, you know, it's a hard, you know, thing to do. But in this moment right now, I would save you. I agreed with what
I feel like they have smaller kids though.
I know.
So there's something
but
different about that.
I know, but listen, if our kids were on a boat with you and you guys, I would save you. I don't know that I would answer that question any different than what he did. I understood what he was saying about it. Is my answer wrong? To some people, it's going to be wrong. Is my answer right? To some people, it's going to be right. My advice, what was the question? Most important lesson is that you're not defined by what anybody else thinks.
Which is kind of where we were going with that.
Yeah. It doesn't matter what somebody else thinks about you. The decisions that you make for you and your marriage and your wife and your husband or whatever, your significant other, the decisions that you're making are what is going to give you 25 years. I can look back at 25 years, and we've said this, I think we said this a million times already. We've been married, whatever that number was. Now I can say it. We've been married for 25 years, right? 10 of it, we had no idea what we were doing. 5 of it, we were figuring it out. And the last 10 years, I can truly say that we have had a blooming relationship. Like we have actually finally known what it is to be fully invested into each other in our marriage, in what is built by us, not caring about what anybody else around us thinks. And that's why I know without a shadow of a doubt that in 25 more years, we're going to be celebrating our 50th anniversary and we're going to be doing something cool.
Well, you're getting ahead of yourself because that's how we
question?
close.
Okay.
That's how we
All right,
close.
go. Next
And I
question.
want to get into that. All right. Next question. Do you have another question?
I only have one more on the social
All
media
right,
stuff.
hold on.
So
Okay, how do you think we've changed since we first got married?
Oh my gosh.
I love that question. What have we said? We're like version. You know how any Apple user out there, I don't know how Android does it, but you know how Apple does their software update? And we're on like software update 18.13
18.9 or whatever. Yeah.
All right. That's exactly what you can expect if you're both growing, I think. You know how they say you can't teach an old dog new tricks? If you come into marriage with that idea, then it's hard times. I think there's a lot of people who are married right now who are surviving.
Yeah.
They're writing it out because they've got no other choice, right? And we've always said we don't want to survive, we want to thrive. And we are not the same people. Hey, hold on. Let me ask you this question, okay? We are not the same people that we were when we first got married, right?
Right.
And I think that a huge problem that a lot of couples encounter is that one person eclipsed the other in growth and in change. Many times what happens is that they're both growing and changing in the opposite direction, and they didn't do it together. And many times it's because of a career or because of kids, right? And so the mom most of the time, right, will be the one who becomes fully invested into her kids. They become her identity, and that's all that she does. There's no time for the spouse because it's the kids, right? And then the kids are grown and gone, and all of a sudden my entire reason for existing is gone as well.
Right.
I can't be with my spouse because I don't even know who he is. He has changed entirely into somebody I don't know. I'm unhappy. We're two different people, and you get divorced. Right? The thing is, life, all the stuff that it's going to throw at you is going to make you into different people for the good or the bad. The thing is, can you rise and with the tide of your marriage with each other? Can you meet each other there? Because I think that that's so important in us recognizing we're not the same people. We're not the same people at all. I don't even know if we would have gone for the people that we are now versus then.
The big question is, do we even want to be with the people that we were at the beginning? Because I know that part of the growth that we have had has been significant in us having the strong marriage that I know we have. Because there are things about me that needed to change. And there are things about you that needed to change. And there are things now that we know still need work. But the mentality back then was, I don't like this about you. And this is causing a problem. So let's work on getting that better.
Or even change is a bad thing.
Right.
The mentality that, whoa, changing in that direction is bad. So you suppress it, right?
And now the mentality is, hey, I know that we could be better at this. How can we work on this together to get us to where we need to be? And then we've had a couple of those journeys where we've come to the end of it and we've won, right? And we look back and we're like, man, we're so much better for being here. And I don't know that it's so much the change is what the win is. The win is the fact that we were on that journey together, and on the way there, we realized that you and I are a team. And now we attack those things, everything, whatever it may be, as a team.
So to give the person who asked this question more, I guess, more specific examples, right? One of them for me is our communication, how it has evolved, how that's different from before, right? Where I feel that because you felt unprepared to parry with me, right, with words, you would take a shut down, I have nothing to say stance,
a step back.
Right? And then that would be the cause of a lot of, I think, frustration and pain for me, because there was a, why do you not engage? You have nothing to say. But it's not that you didn't have anything to say. You just didn't feel that you saying anything was productive. So you just chose not to say anything. And through a lot of work, right, we have come from a place where you would have run and avoided that to now you're like, okay, let me think about what I want to say. Let me say what I want to say. And
I love the fact that we now have intelligible arguments. Does that make sense?
Yeah. For me, it does anyway.
Like you and I, like before, like if we disagreed on something, we would disagree. And then at the end of it, I felt like we walked away and it was still not resolved. And now, like, we're in the middle of it and we're going back and forth. And then we're like, are we okay? I think we resolved it, and now we're just having a discussion about it, and then now it's just a conversation about it, and then we're like, what do you want for dinner? Our arguments don't have abrupt endings. Our arguments become conversations.
Well, because at some point, I think it was like you're just waving the white flag, like, okay.
Yeah,
like,
and that was causing for there to still be some animosity later on, even though it was hidden.
And it would come back up again. That's the thing, you know. And then the other thing I would say is that we celebrate our differences as positive things with each other, you know. So where before you being one way and me being a different way would have been like, oh, well, that's why we don't agree, because we think differently about this, right? Like, I feel that we celebrate those different stances. And it's like, well, let me see why you see things this way. Let me put myself in your shoes, and where it's not an attack on the person, right? There's an acknowledgement that we see things differently and that we understand things differently. And sometimes it's very helpful to take a different approach then and see it through the other person's eyes, where I feel like those are two examples.
It's good.
All right, read one.
Well, I'm gonna kind of throw in the other one that's on Instagram.
Okay.
Because it's just asking about like what's our best marriage advice.
Uh-huh.
And I think everything that we're doing is a lot of really good marriage advice.
Uh-huh.
I don't know that I would have one thing that I could say is the best marriage advice.
Oh, like one singular thing? Is
Yeah.
that what they're asking for?
Yeah,
One
like
singular
what is the
thing?
best marriage advice that you could give?
I mean, if I have
Communication?
to. Huh?
Communication?
No, that's what everybody says. No. Honestly,
But that's what I'm saying. It's
I go back
there's
to protect the core.
protect the core.
Protect the core at all costs.
And we talked about that.
We talked about that. We're very passionate about that. And can I just say something? Laugh.
Yeah.
Humor has to be part of it. Like if you're too serious about things, like you've got to laugh at the refrigerator being left
Well,
open
hold on.
because
Next question.
I forgot.
Next question is going where you're going. So this is the advice question, and together with this, because we can answer.
All right.
What are 3 things that you would say are key in keeping a marriage strong? Laugh, bro. You have to laugh. If you don't laugh, it
And if
doesn't
you've seen our chat,
it
we laugh
doesn't
about
work.
all sorts of different
Laugh.
things.
keep the core strong.
Protect the core.
Protect the core.
That's it. Like we need to get
And-
tattoos that say protect the core.
And what?
I mean, honesty has been huge.
Honesty has been used. Honesty, protect the core, laugh. So instead of live, love, laugh, it's honesty, honesty, protect the core, and laugh.
And by laugh, it's just like keep things. I mean, don't be so serious. Don't be so stringent about stuff. You know? If you're like we're watching The Sopranos, right? And we saw this little interaction where Tony tries to play a prank on his wife, and she didn't respond well to it. Granted, we understand why, right? That's not how their relationship is. But had their relationship been like that,
Mm-hmm.
it just keeps things a little light.
Keeps it light, yeah.
Life is already so serious on its own. It doesn't need any help from us. All right.
So going into serious, that's the next question.
Ooh, what has been the biggest challenge you faced as a couple, and how did you overcome it? Wow. All right. Are we ready to talk about mental health?
Yeah.
Wow. That's so we referred to the dark days in our podcast for our anniversary, I want to say.
So let me go
Yeah.
because I think this
Yeah.
is, and I think I'm gonna give a short answer
Yeah.
because I think that's all I want to give with
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be honest, so it'll be out there. 10 years in,
Yeah. 10 years in. Yeah.
11 years in,
I would
like
say
that?
probably no, less. 'Cause
9 years in.
Yeah. 8 or 9 years in.
So 8 or 9 years in, I was in my darkest space where I was not happy with just things, and I found myself in a very dark mental space where I was contemplating suicide, contemplating just walking away from my problems because I felt that was the answer to my
To your problems.
problems. I want to say problems because it's such a generic thing. It was to my thoughts, because that's what it was. It was a lot of thoughts that was driving that process for me. And honestly, the way that we were able to come out of that was you believed in us. You believed in me. And you went against every single bit of my wishes of wanting to keep things private, and went to someone that we trusted. And that person jumped in and really
Scooped you out.
scooped me out. And there was a lot of work that had to happen to make that okay for us again.
And so
And I never felt you judge me in that. That was a huge part of that. But yeah, I had countless times where I was driving home and all I could think about was, I'm going to go as fast as I can and find a wall and just have that. I don't know why that was my thought process in that. I think it was just the way it was, my quiet time. And that, I think that's where my mind was the busiest.
So I want to kind of take the conversation just a little bit off to the side, because one thing that's been very big for you is about rewriting the DNA, right? And you have, I know, and you can't even show it.
I have to show it.
But I feel that this, oh, there you go.
There you go.
Get the camera nice and close.
I don't know if you can see.
You got to get up to it.
There you go. Hold on.
It's the no. I wasn't ready.
Here's my little DNA guy
You okay?
from
And
Jurassic Park.
even your chest tattoo, which is your family
My family crest.
has been redesigned to keep some of the old, but a lot of new elements to it, because there is a breaking away from the old way, right?
A lot of my tattoos were therapeutic
yeah,
in helping me deal with some of the thoughts that were what's the word I'm looking for? Like held back, that were
suppressed.
A lot of the stuff that was suppressed that I never really dealt with, because the person who jumped in and helped me like dig out, goodness, I can't get this button. The person who jumped in and helped me get out, they literally just jumped in and helped me get out
Well, that's what we
of
needed.
my thoughts,
Yeah,
but not to deal with
right.
the situation.
Which is what was the emergent situation in
Right.
that moment, but
Just to keep me around.
But the reason I'm going in that direction is because the upbringing that I feel like a lot of people can relate to is you keep it secret, right? You don't go and tell other people your business. Men especially have to suppress any depressive thoughts or sadness or anything. You just have to like put your head down and bring like keep pushing, regardless of anything. That any weakness, quote unquote, is seen as unacceptable, right? And so even in all of your journey through that, you have been able to see how your issues with depression and anxiety came at a very, very young age, but they were suppressed
and now
and never dealt with.
Now, doing the work as I have been doing the work for it, like I remember being 3 or 4 or 5 years old, like sitting outside my parents' room, needing to use the restroom because the only restroom in the house was in my parents' bedroom, and the anxiety of having to knock on the door to be able to go in because I didn't want to. You
described it as paralyzing.
Yeah, it was paralyzing, and I've shared this with you. I don't know if I've told this to anyone other than my therapist, but like the thought that I had, like the only way I could put it into a tangible thing is like this frozen moment, and then it's like this dot 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 dot, like just like an audible dot 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 dot. That's the thought process, and I think I kind of put that back to like that's like an engine that's like struggling, that's making noise. It's metal on metal, like broken down. Like that's the something's not right, and I remember those moments and how those moments felt. That were very very paralyzing, and that's from super young. Never ever dealt with it. Never even put two and two together to say that that's what was happening, and yet it manifested itself very quietly for a long time. And if you wouldn't have jumped in, there I would
There
just
would
be,
only be the that chat.
bro, that's so dark. Your black heart just came out.
I know, but that's how we deal with the
I know,
hard
it's
stuff
true.
is with
But
humor.
I'm saying I would have just been another stat.
Yeah.
I would have been another stat.
Yeah. And I mean, so, the question was how did you overcome it? But I mean, obviously that goes way beyond just having a little spat in a marriage, right? I mean, it drove us apart. It isolated you from us and from the kids. Like there was a severing that was happening, but this is where I think we said this again a couple podcasts ago. I hold to my dying day that we are friends before we're lovers. And to me, that's just like I can't lose my friend, And so whatever that means, I feel like when you're able to see your spouse that way, not that everybody has that, but if you are able to see your spouse that way, it takes away from my needs and how are my needs not being met and why am I the one who's doing all this stuff to my friend needs me and I'm here for my friend.
And I remember I was so mad at you.
I know, and you did everything you can to push me away.
Yeah,
I think you expected me to walk away. Like it was just
to
a
me,
given.
It would have been easier.
You know,
for me.
For you.
I was like, I wish we would just pick up the kids and go. It just would make things easier for me, and then I would just be forgotten, and that would be the end of it.
Right.
That's the way you think. And, when you look back, the fact that you were like, no, I'm here. There's enough here. Even though we weren't the best of friends just yet.
Well, and not only that, but I remember thinking to myself, even if our marriage is over, I love you as a person.
Yeah. And we're talking about 8-9 years in. Like,
but
what
again,
are we, like,
remember
what
our
are we
beginning
doing?
was forged in circumstances that most people don't start off like that, where it was just you and I against everyone, So I do think that the negative things that happen in your life can definitely be tools of power in the future. Just pin that little thing for later, right? Huh. That's like an Instagram quotable.
What's that?
Did you hear what I just said?
I did, but I can't repeat
I'm going
that.
to repeat that again because I'm just marinating in those words because I'm having that thought right now. But the bad things that happen, the negative things that happen can be tools of power later on in the future. That's crazy because you always see that as negative, forgettable things, right? And it's interesting because...
Well, everything molds us. Everything changes us. Everything creates something.
And 5
new.
years ago, we went through another challenging space, which to me, interestingly enough, I felt more in danger of us not making it through that than I did the first time around. It's very weird. I don't feel I was prepared for it. I didn't have the chance to brace myself for it to the point where still there has been like, I feel like there's some post trauma that I feel from it where I still get like, where I discovered I have anxiety and panic attacks and stuff like that,
Do you
We're all
feel
born out of those things that happened 5 years ago.
do you feel that this is a product of us having to maybe deal with some of that?
I've never seen it like that.
It literally was born right after that.
Yeah, and I've never seen it as a tool that was used for that. I just thought it was like I've said this to people, is that it was your idea and I support your ideas, and I was like, sure, let's do it.
I wanted to use the opportunity for us to sit in front of each other to talk about things.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a journal to our kids. And I felt like that's where like for me, I felt like it was born out of what happened 5 years ago. But that we're not ready to talk about. I don't think.
No, and especially since we're going way over.
Yes.
I'm going to say it
Bro,
one more time.
forget about it being way over.
Wait.
No.
We're just in question 11.
That's okay. It's okay. They can pause it and go.
Okay,
Remember,
we need to be more on track. We're not being on track here.
we're gonna take as long as it's necessary.
I
Just
feel so bad.
don't feel bad.
Okay.
Don't feel bad. This
If
is
you
still
had-
it's still not the longest episode.
Did you read? You haven't read yet. Read.
This is still not the longest episode we've done.
Not yet.
Not yet. Let's see.
Number 11.
If you had the chance to redo one moment in your marriage, what would it be and why?
Boy, if you don't say this right.
I don't want to answer now.
Oh my
To redo?
gosh.
Oh my goodness. Let's see. Would it have anything? It's getting hot in here. Would it have anything to do with the proposal?
Yes! Thank you! Oh my goodness.
Did you put poison in my water?
Listen.
I'm swelling up.
No, I want to know, really, would you redo that? Or you're fine with it?
No, remember when I tried?
No, we are not even going to touch on that.
Yeah.
That never happened.
Let's just leave it at it would be the proposal because the first one and the second one sucked. I'm really like swelling up in here.
But hold on, for real, you would want to redo that? You feel like, no, then what would you want to
No.
redo?
I don't know if I don't know. To me honestly, I think the proposal is really the one thing that would be like that would have validity to be redone.
So here's an interesting part, right? I feel that there's certain people that I can bring in my mind that there's one instance where you have a moment of regret, right? That if I could redo this, if I could have a chance to redo this moment with this person, I would not have done this, or I would have done this, right? And those are moments of regret that you have. That's why you want a chance to redo that again. I don't feel like I have a moment of regret with you. I don't feel like there's something that, oh, if I could just take that back, if I could not have said those words to you, if I could not have done that to you, I can't think of anything like that. However, if you had a chance to redo one moment, I thought about how I'm thinking about it as a negative thing, as a regretful thing. I would redo our wedding.
Is that's a question?
That is the question. I'm rereading it again, realizing that it's not a negative thing. It doesn't have to be. You're redoing a moment. It can be a bad moment, or it can be
one moment in your marriage. What would it be? Oh,
exactly. I would redo our wedding.
Really?
I never wanted the party. We wanted to go to the courthouse and do that and be done with it.
We were still at the beginning.
Exactly. And
Not
we
knowing.
did the wedding because everybody else wanted it. And it's still, well, oh my God.
You forgot the Velcro. Sorry, I rubbed my eye and I hit the lens of my glasses,
Oh, are they dirty?
and I have one little spot on one side that's
Is there
driving me insane.
is there something fun you would want to redo? You know how you can never have that experience again? Kind of like when we walked into that Star Wars ride where we saw all the stormtroopers and you're just like,
Walking into Harry Potter for the first time?
butterbeer for the first time. I would want to be
moment
able
to
to
be redone.
no, that's a personal moment.
I like your answer. Your answer's a good answer. It's a really good answer. If
Plot twist.
yeah.
That's not what they were
I
asking,
know.
but we found a loophole.
I'm taking your road of redoing a moment like that.
Ah.
I would say, for me, I would say the move to Miami.
Okay, that's a regretful thing.
Hmm?
So you would want to have stayed in the Keys.
I would have wanted to stay in the Keys. I would have rethought that entire process. But then again, if we didn't come to Miami, where would we be?
I don't know.
It would be a very, very different story.
Where would we have been if we had moved to Colorado?
Yeah.
All right,
I
read
almost
the question.
I almost threw my phone
Read
down
the
there.
question.
All right. What are we on? What is one thing that you wish that we did more of together?
Mine's easy.
Go. What's yours?
I wish we would play more card games together.
I know. You said this so much. And we have
I wish we would ride our bikes together.
this isn't a complaining session.
All the things we wish we did more together.
I wish you would play golf with me.
I've offered.
Yeah, but I don't know if you're sold on it.
I'm going to suck at it. I don't think you want
You think
me there.
I'm good?
Listen, I'm an embarrassment.
Do you think I'm good?
I'm going to hit the ball and you're going to be like,
Will
you're
you do
going to
it?
have to. Yeah.
Bro, I'm buying you golf clubs.
We're going to go play golf.
Yes.
We're going to be those people.
We're going to be those
Are
people.
you going to teach me how to play?
Yes, I'm going to stand behind you and I'm going to rub myself on your butt while I teach you how to go like this.
Bro, Mel needs a trigger warning.
There's no trigger. Her kids have heard the word butt.
Caboose.
Caboose. Yo, caboose, my lady.
Derriere.
All right.
All right, read another question. I feel like I've been reading too much.
What was the hardest or biggest thing bro, I'm old. I've got my glass. No, hold on. I got to do what you did. You flipped your question sideways.
It's much better that
All right,
way.
hold on. Number. Okay. What was the hardest or biggest thing each of you have had to adjust to or compromise on in order to make the marriage successful? My hardest thing to adjust to, that way from the beginning, was your very strong-willed personality. Because I have a strong-willed personality, and we can clash.
Well, I've always said I'm very docile until you try to bridle me. And when you try to bridle me, I am
You're
a
very
wild
docile.
bucking pony.
You're very docile until somebody opens their mouth to talk to you. They came bounding over.
I love that video.
All right, what about you?
Wow, to
That one was
compromise
easy
on.
because that was like, for me, it's immediate. That was
I think that our energies are different. And that was something that was very hard for me to take from what I thought it was going to be like, energy wise, to what it was, and finding joy in other things than the fact that our energies were so different from each other. So instead of me resenting you for it or trying to change you to match, it was more of what are other ways that I can draw what I need from you when I'm not receiving that how I thought the movie's painted out to be. Does that make sense?
Makes sense.
So,
I gotcha.
yeah.
All right, you read the next one.
All right. And the next one,
14.
what advice would you give to newlyweds based on your experience? Wow, I feel like there's been a lot of questions that are kind of circling the drain on this. What's the advice? Ready? 1, 2, 3.
Honesty.
Bro. It's the tattoo.
I know. It's the 3.
No, it's just the one. Ready?
Oh, you got to say it. I forgot the phrase.
Protect the core.
Protect the core.
Exactly like that. Protect the core.
Protect the core.
Protect the core.
Protect the core.
It's so far-reaching.
That advice would have been life-changing for us.
Listen, I'm gonna say something. Recently, I'm trying to be sensitive how I say this, but recently, a couple that we know had to make some adjustments, setting boundaries with family members, right? And there has been a lot of discussion about are they right or wrong in doing so, because essentially what you're doing is you're cutting off these family members, right? Is it how I would play it out? That's irrelevant. The fact is that for your nucleus, it's what was necessary because those were infringing on your nucleus, right? And because of that, if you're going to protect what you have and things need to be cut off, then they need to be cut off. Does it mean that everybody needs to go cut off their family members or friends or anything like that, right?
The answer is not, oh, they're bad for you, cut the legs off.
Right. We, in the very beginning, and I'm not even talking, I don't even think we said this, but in our Friends episode, but in the beginning, when we started out, I had 3 girlfriends, and there were 2 couples within those 3 girlfriends that we would hang out. They were our hangout. We would go out together. We would do stuff together. Every week we were
times a night,
having dinners
2 or 3
together.
nights a week.
Yeah, all that stuff, right? And then it came up, why are you guys always doing everything together? You need to go out with the guys. You need to go out with the girls. And guess what? That may work for other people. That does not work for us because we didn't want that to work for us. It's just what we wanted. And who is there to say, this is the way?
Now, here's the thing. For other people, it may work that way.
Bro, are you copying me?
Something like that.
I just said that.
Remember, we think alike now.
Okay, but you're behind. You're a little delayed there. Okay.
Sorry. From there to here.
From there to there. Okay, but my point is that we ended up walking away from those relationships because there was an infringement on our nucleus.
And we just weren't going to have that.
We weren't. And not that we even knew about boundaries and all that stuff then, but even then we chose us. At every day, love at the end of the day is not going to be enough. You can have all the love in the world for each other. It is not enough because when the dry spell comes, guess what? Your mind tells you you're not actually super in love with this person, right? Every day you have to wake up and you have to choose each other. Whether you want to or not, you have to. And the day that you get to where you say, I don't choose them, that's when you need to worry. Because then that's when you're in trouble. I lost you.
No.
Are you thinking about baseball?
No.
I am thinking about baseball. I'm wondering if the game started already.
Later on, yeah. We're a couple hours off.
Oh my God.
All right.
We're a couple hours off from being done.
No. No. All right. Let's try here. Let's do this.
Okay.
Let's try and answer it through a few of the
30-second
questions.
answers. Go.
Some quicker. Let's just try and go through some
Yeah,
of the
let's
questions. a little
try.
quicker.
Let's try to stay on task here.
What surprised you the most about your marriage?
Wow. How it was so not what I expected it to be.
It definitely is not like the movies.
Uh-uh.
It's a lot of work.
Uh-uh.
It's a lot of consistent work. And it's not work that is... If you want to put the work in because you love the other person, you really want to make it work, it's not like exhausting, like soul exhausting work. It's hard because you are taking two people and becoming one unit. So it requires a lot of investment.
Do you know what I think about? Choreographed dancing. I feel
It's a choreographed dance.
what's a party dance that everybody does? The slide?
Yeah.
Okay. To this day I can't do the slide.
To
I
be
can't
fair,
do
you
the
haven't tried.
cha-cha. I have. When I was a kid, I tried the Macarena. I can't do it.
Bro, the
Okay?
Macarena.
I can't do it.
All right,
Why?
here, go.
Why?
Go.
I
Macarena.
don't even know what do you do? Okay,
Ready?
go.
Shake it and jump. That's it.
And then
That's Macarena. Do it again. You already screwed it up.
and that's the
Go.
problem.
Face down, face up, face up.
If I
Across,
want
across.
to, I can remember. Okay? But I had to sneak away when we were dancing. Okay? But I can't do it. And everybody else that was around me was always like, "Come on, let's do it. We can just jump in and do it." And it's the choreograph part of it that's so difficult for me. So, in marriage, that's exactly what it is. You are learning a choreographed dance of life together. And you have to not be frustrated with each other when the other person keeps messing up, like in Amazing Race. It's one of the things I love watching that. I'm sorry, I'm getting sidetracked. Go ahead.
All right. If you could change one thing about your partner, what would it be and why?
Ooh, this is like the newlywed show.
I don't want to answer that one.
Oh, I actually want to hear your answer now.
No, I'm just saying I don't want to answer it because I don't know that I want to. I think that we talked about this though. The things that we've wanted to change, or like, I can't pinpoint one thing. Like, I can't say, oh, it was this, because it's all like little things that can.
I'd make you taller.
Taller?
Taller.
Make you shorter.
At least 5 foot. Oh my God, that would be amazing.
You'd want to be shorter?
Always I've wanted to be shorter.
How short do you want to be?
Always. Oh
You're
my God.
5'4".
5'1" would have been amazing.
Just to cut off your toes or something?
5'1". That's not enough. That's not enough.
Your toes wouldn't make you shorter, woman. They're already flat on the floor.
Bro, if you're like 7 feet tall
Bro. Okay.
and I was just like little,
No.
I love it. I love it. Would you want me to be shorter?
I wouldn't mind it.
No.
I've always had. I always enjoyed
I know.
short.
You've always had a thing. I know.
Anyways,
Me too. Me too. What was that?
I'm just saying.
You gave me the eyebrow.
Yes, because I saw one of the next questions.
Okay, read it. Read
No, I
it.
didn't see the next question.
Oh,
It's
one
of. The next ones.
Okay, let me see. Hold on. Let me read one. Who do you believe would adapt better to life without the other? Ooh,
Bro.
you.
No way.
1,000%.
I would adapt better to life without you.
Yep.
This is up for debate.
Okay, let's debate it.
There's no way. You've gone to visit your mom for a week, and I almost died.
That's true.
Like, the fact that I picked you up from the airport was a miracle
Why?
because I almost didn't even get out of the house.
Oh, gee.
Miserable. And you were up there in the Carolinas enjoying life. I think you would adapt.
No, you're right. You're right. I would adapt better. I would. And I think it's only because I think that you'd naturally
go live with
go
your
down.
parents. Mm-hmm. You'd go live in the Carolinas with your parents.
And you're okay. Like, even with the kids, like, I can't. I think that you would just quit. And I feel like I feel
Bro,
the
we were just
need
like, we were just
to.
happy, and now we're just like sad again.
That is sad. That
Whoever
would be
asked that
super.
question,
That's probably
shame,
Leah.
shame, yeah, trying to get under my skin.
That's if we guessed right.
What are three words that you would use to describe? What are three words that you would use to describe our marriage?
3 words.
I got one word. There's only one word. Chaotic.
Bro, follow the instructions.
Okay. Chaotic, fun, chaotic, fun, and
Huh. I'm
I would
overthinking
hold
this
on.
now.
I would say chaotic because there's nothing that we do that is ever what we intended it to be when we started off. So it's I don't know what's coming. Fun because we just have the best time together. And loving because honestly you cherish me and I feel like I cherish you.
Why are you so sweet?
Sometimes the words line up.
I'm overthinking this already.
Okay.
Because I'm thinking, is it 3 separate words or can it be 3 words that make a sentence?
It could be 3 words that make a sentence.
One of a kind.
One of a kind.
I genuinely feel like if you were to compare us apples to everyone else, nobody can match us for so many reasons. Nobody can match us. Would you agree?
100%. People look at us from the outside and think we're absolutely insane.
I don't know. Maybe they're like, oh, we could be, we're so alike. Maybe
Well,
we have similarities.
I put the challenge out there. Find someone that matches this insanity and we can be best friends.
I don't know if we'd want to be.
Yeah, it'd be kind of weird.
I don't know. I think just 2 of
We'd be
us
like-
is enough. I don't know.
I don't know about you.
Oh my gosh. Okay. After
After
25 years.
Oh, here it is.
Ooh, see? There
the
it
one-
is.
that's
That's
the
an
one where-
Olsey question. This was the private question, I bet you. How do you keep the spice alive in your marriage? Well, if you didn't gather from this before, when I talked about our energies, I meant spice energies. We
You're
have,
going to put me out like that?
bro, there's nothing to put you out on that. We have different energies.
Okay,
This
so-
is something that people don't talk about. And because it's a family show,
All
we're
right.
not going to get into it either.
But I will say something because I have to say it. I can't keep up with this lady.
Okay. Do TMI
That's what it is.
for
No.
my mama.
Listen,
I'm just saying.
you wanted it. We're going to spice.
Listen.
The question is that. How do you keep the spice alive in your life, in your marriage?
There you go. That's the thing. It's, you know what? Don't be afraid.
Don't be afraid.
I think, again, honesty. I think this is
Honesty.
where honesty comes in
Don't be
very
afraid.
much. And you know what? Can I just say, for
After
the people who don't know,
25 years,
after 25 years,
we're having
do
quite a bit of
you
fun.
and I not ask ourselves, how is it still so good after so long?
Yes.
I'm sorry. I'm just going to say it like that because you would think we've done everything. We've tried everything. We've felt everything, right? We know everything about each other.
Bro.
I'm just saying, okay?
for your mama.
just say, we know. Like, it's not the first rodeo. There's nothing
How do you keep the
novel
spice
or
in your
new.
marriage? How do you keep the spice in your marriage? Honesty and having a blast.
There's just something so different that comes from the first time to 20 years later, right?
25.
There's no, just even 20 years later, I'm saying, okay? Because you have been through stuff with this person. Okay? There is such a vulnerability that is achieved versus you just met someone and you're still trying to, like I woke up like this. There's just something. It's so much more rich and meaningful and
And not
Again,
to say, and not
this
to,
is why one of a kind.
and not
okay,
to, and not
so
to
I'm
say,
just gonna say that.
and not to say that some of our attempts have not been hilarious, because they have been hilarious.
And would we laugh a lot?
Bro, we
do
laugh.
we not laugh a lot?
Yes.
We laugh a lot.
And sometimes
Laughter goes everywhere.
And sometimes during.
Exactly.
All right. We're almost there. We're on the home stretch.
I don't think so, but okay.
Yes. What do you hope that your relationship teaches the next generation in our family?
Our
Simple answer. This is a simple answer.
Okay.
I'm going to answer for you and for me.
Okay.
I hope that they learn that they need to protect the core.
Did you just want to do that?
I did. No. No. Honestly, like the thing that I want, that I would want for them to take away from our marriage,
It
is
is possible to thrive and not just survive.
Ooh, God, you're sexy when you talk like that.
Stop it.
Things cannot get spicy
Stop
on
it.
the podcast. Relax.
Right?
Yes.
Is it not true?
Oh my God.
How many couples do we know that our parents knew that are all divorced?
Listen, there are
And
people.
there's people listening
there
to
are
us
people
that are in the same
that
boat.
have told us there's no way you're gonna make it. Okay.
Can I tell
And
you that
they're-
I rise to the occasion even more when you even look at me like you have zero confidence in me? I live to prove you wrong. In fact, I'm with you right now only to prove all the naysayers wrong. I wanted you to spit your water.
Yeah, I had to hold it. What is one thing that your spouse does that makes you laugh? What is something that doesn't make me laugh?
No, I want to hear this.
What's
Something I do that makes you laugh?
your squirrelness, like your squirreliness,
You know, I live to make you laugh.
bro.
I
Your
do things.
squirreliness. There are times where
set up
you are
pranks.
doing things that a 5-year-old can do, and I sit back to watch because I'm like, there's something that she's going
Are we
to
talking
do.
about the fridge again?
No. There are things that you do,
No, I cannot believe I did not close the door.
things that make me laugh. This morning,
Okay.
okay, I make breakfast. We have our breakfast.
Mm-hmm.
Then we take and we this is our Sunday morning ritual. We do breakfast. We take all of our vitamins and we line them up. We have like the old people little like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday thing. We put all our vitamins out for the week, right? And we just set it all up. It's just what we do on Sunday morning. I'm usually done in like 3 minutes.
We usually do it together, finish together.
Yeah. So, no. I'm usually done before you, and then I'm kind of like straggling to allow you to finish. Today, we're like, all right, let's dress up for a podcast. And I'm like, all right, I'm going to go to the bathroom. I'm going to start getting ready. Just finish putting their pills, and then whatever. So I set up the cameras. I iron my vest. I get my hair done. I shave. What?
I'm listening to the lies.
And when I come back out,
Wow.
you're still not done
I
with
know
your
you
pills.
want me to back you up sometimes when you
Listen
over
to me.
exaggerate things.
Listen to
but
me.
I cannot.
Listen to me. And what do I have on my phone? 13 memes that you've sent me on Instagram, because instead of doing their pills, you're doing Instagram. That's what you
Because
do.
I was gonna go look at one thing, and then it's
One
an
thing.
hour later.
It's like the the videos that they had that got popular just a little bit ago, where somebody's like
In the
scrolling.
daytime?
Yeah.
And then it's nighttime?
No, they're scrolling
Oh.
through the video and they're laughing and they're like, oh, look at this. And when you turn around to show them, the person's on the floor like they either had a heart attack or got hit by a car, and they're like, oh, I have to
Oh,
call
I've
911.
seen the ones where it's during the day they show it, and then they go show it again, and it's
And it's
nighttime, and they're
nighttime?
alone.
Yeah.
They were left alone in the office. Okay. All right.
What's something I make you laugh?
Oh, man. I think I love chatting when we're watching our shows because you have comments that you make about people, because we do that, right? Or about a situation or
My
something.
color commentary.
Yes, very colorful. You make me laugh so much with that.
a good one.
One of many ways. Okay, hold on.
22.
22?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Who says I love you more or is the more romantic one?
You definitely say I love you more.
Yeah.
But I don't know about the romantic one. I have a case for myself.
So I don't think that anyone could win the prize of being the most romantic.
We're romantic different, though.
Right, because I feel like I'm more like romantic in my writing, so more of the poet to you. And then you do things that
yeah.
are romantic, like the
We are
planning of a date.
complementarily.
Complimentary.
Is that the word? Mm-hmm. Complementary in our romanticisms. Yes?
Mm-hmm. It's good.
But you definitely say I love you more.
Yeah.
And
I
you
want
look
you to
at-
say that more. Where's the
Well,
question
the thing is,
what things
hold on.
would you like to do more of?
No, hold on. The thing
Let me
is,
see here.
the thing is, for you say, I love you. I'm like, I love you, babe.
I don't even say I love you.
Hold
That's elementary. That's elementary. Come on. I could pull up messages where I'm like, my soul can't breathe without your soul.
And I'm like,
Thanks.
thanks. Oh, man. Oh, man.
Oh my god, I can't. Oh my god. I probably am a mess.
Thumbs up.
Oh my gosh.
All right.
Oh,
What's the next one?
so good. Hold on. Let me see.
What is one of the most important lessons that you've learned from me? We answered that one.
No, important lessons you've learned from each other. Wow. Wow, that's a great question. A lesson I've learned from you. I would say for myself, I would.
Laugh a little for me. Sorry.
Oh, good. Good.
just thought
And
about
I've
it.
seen the change in you in that. So, you know how much I hate being restricted by anything. Rules, schedules.
It's the complementary
You know.
personalities.
Yeah. Stop saying that because I made that word up.
Did you really?
Yeah. That's
You're such a
it's complimentary, but I'm making you pronounce it wrong. Like that's Listen to me. I'm telling you something romantic
I
right
said
now.
nothing. Oh,
I'm
okay.
moving on.
go.
I forgot what I was saying. Wait. About the schedules and
Yes.
all that stuff. If
My toes are blue.
you have shown me that there is more peace of mind in being more organized. We're able to do more because we're more organized. So, slightly embracing some of those things.
It's good.
All right.
What's next?
Oh, I love this one. How do you handle disagreements or conflicts in your relationship?
Well, now.
Wait. Let's reenact one.
Okay, go.
All right. You ask me. You always ask me first.
You okay?
Yep.
I love you.
Good for you. That was so perfect.
Hold on.
That was so perfect.
Write this down. 2 hours and 10 minutes.
Stop it.
That way I know where to go pull
Have
the
we
clip.
been recording for 2 hours and 10 minutes?
Yes. Hold
Oh,
on.
my head
That way,
hurts.
write it down. That way I know.
I'm so sorry.
That way
oh
I
my
know.
God. 2 hours and 10 minutes.
That way I know where to go pull the clip from.
People, I'm so sorry. Okay, we're getting right to
Hold
the
on,
end.
but we didn't answer the question.
Oh, wait.
How do we handle?
That's exactly how. I
Oh.
just texted you 2 hours and 10 minutes.
How do we handle disagreements? Honestly, well, we talked about it a little bit.
We find
Our-
we find couples videos online very relatable because I'm going to tell you exactly how it goes. We're very passionate. We're very and I think you can see our passion come through, right? So we're very passionate when we disagree. I feel that for the most part, we do try to have a conversation, and sometimes that's what happens. We have a conversation and that's it, right? We resolve it. But sometimes if it's like, no, the principle is being missed, right? We dig in. And now we fight with like our stances, right? We defend the stance. And then all of a sudden, silence, right? Silence prevails for a while. And then I'll get a weird. Did you see that video about? Did you see Dane Cook's latest video? And I'll be like,
100%.
which one?
100%. This is okay. Hold on, but to
I
be
think it's because we are too prideful to come back around and
Here's the thing.
say
the truth is
truce.
the truth is that when we have our arguments, if it's something that's silly, it's kind of dumb.
Those are the worst
I know.
sometimes.
We put it all out. We just we've said what we're gonna say.
Okay.
We've said what we're gonna say.
Yeah,
and
I am
it's-
what I am.
I am what I am. It's all out there, right? And then we have that cool off period, and in the cool off period, I think we both
You
come
realize
into an
that's the
agreement
problem. You
that we're like,
realize.
bro, that was the stupidest waste of 45 minutes in my life. And then we're like, did you see that video? Now, if it's a disagreement or an argument that we truly have, we've had conversations where we sit down with each other, and our biggest thing is that we don't disrespect each other.
Ever.
We listen to each other. We make sure that we're clear in how we feel. And then we discuss.
And I wanna interject.
And then we discuss it. And we know that someone has to budge
Give.
a little bit.
Yeah, but I just want to interject something when you say that we're clear with each other. So you have a thing where you understand things backwards, right?
Right.
So if you if someone tells you you're going to find it in the back half, you're going to go to what everyone else in the world would say is the front half.
Not that bad, but okay. We'll use that for an
Okay,
example.
but what was it that you're lawn mowing? Didn't you have a story about when you were a
Yes.
kid about the lawnmower?
Yeah, so my dad would tell me, cut the grass in. And I'm like,
I'm going to
I'm
tell you
like-
what that means. It would be you starting from the fence towards the pool.
yes.
But
it
you
was
understood what?
to cut it. Okay, so our house had a little front space with grass. And my dad said, cut the grass, towards the inside. To me,
So from the outside in.
but you're thinking the same way I am.
Well, that's what it would make.
The thing is that what I did, so we had the perimeter of that grass area, and
Mm-hmm.
I cut that grass towards the house.
That's what I'm understanding.
What he was meaning was to cut it all towards the grass, going into
Towards
the
the
grass.
middle. Okay. Okay. But so that's something that we've had to implement into our marriage is that when we're having a disagreement, before we assume the other person
Clarity.
is saying something, look for, like, I am understanding that you are insulting my intelligence right now. Are you doing such?
Yes.
And then you're like,
Blasphemy.
nay, I am not. And then it's like, okay, before you get
We
upset.
we
and all
have
that.
good discussions.
We do have good discussions.
And
Now,
they've
I
had
do
to
want to
develop
say,
because
I
they
do
were-
want to say,
they were
in
rough
the
there for a little
beginning,
while.
in the beginning, we took quite literally what some people told us were
No.
the most important
No.
things.
No. You took.
I mean, but you tried to stay up, which means you participated.
Did I have a choice?
That's what I'm saying. You participated in it. So we were trying. Okay? We were trying to not let the sun go down on our anger, which meant no one sleeps until we fix it, which meant it was 4 o'clock in the morning.
Brutal.
And I was still poking you awake. Like,
Advice to give to newlyweds.
we already
That's
said
the
that.
stupidest.
Okay, let's go. Wait, I want to read one. Oh, I love this one. If you could write a love letter, doesn't have to be long, to each other right now, what would the first couple sentences be?
Should I go first?
Bro, you're my best friend.
I would be like, to my best friend.
Bro, you are my best friend.
To my best
You
friend.
know everything about me in a way that nobody else knows me. Like, you make me feel so safe. I feel so protected by you. You're the only thing that grounds me. The only thing. And there's just no words that I can convey how much I love you. There's just no words.
And
No
here,
one's designed them.
And here we're going to see where our personalities are. And
Of course.
I'm gonna be
let
funny
me
because
I
it's-
see how I prepare.
but I
myself.
have to get
Let
it
me
out.
Prepare
I
myself.
have to get it out because otherwise I'm just gonna be thinking about it. And that's what I think. I'm gonna be like, to my best friend.
Stop. Don't stop. You're Liesel.
To my
You know where that's from? If you know where that's from, I forgive all your transgressions. All of them. Even the ones that haven't been.
Dear. Okay, anyways.
I am so proud of you right now. Wow. Okay.
Ready?
Go.
To my best friend. Thank you for letting me touch your butt and your boobs.
If this is a comment about Billy Madison.
No.
Okay.
You make me happy when skies are gray. You never know, dear, how much I love you. Please don't take my sunshine away.
So I die
No.
after this episode and I never got to hear your love letter.
Bro, you know my love letter.
Tell me your love letter.
You get my love letters.
Tell
Those are
me.
private.
What? I just made mine public.
I know, but mine are private. I send those to you. Honestly, the first few sentences would just be about the fact that
Can we?
I cannot live without you.
Can you just like say those words to me again? Can you just send me one that was like
Which one?
Wow.
Oh no, but that I used profanity.
You did not use profan. No, not that one.
Oh,
No, not that one.
Which
I
one?
even shared it with my sister because it was like,
Which one?
Wow.
which one?
Well, I'd have to pull it up. I'm trying to cut around it and just say the meat and potatoes of it. But you said that, oh boy.
Of course you would. Make sure you're
Let's
back
see.
in.
I'm
'Cause
centered.
I know, but you've moved the chair. You've kicked the camera. I'm not sure what's going on over
It's
there.
fine. It's not recording anymore though.
Yeah, it is. Actually, you know what?
Actually, we should hurry up.
go before this
We
thing
should hurry
ends.
up. Sorry. And I'll keep that one for myself.
We haven't recorded, so I don't know how much those memory cards record.
Stop.
The title.
What is the best marriage advice you've received from someone else? None.
None.
I want to say that the marriage advice that we have received
We've
from other
gotten
people
crap.
has been negative for us. Negative.
All right, this one's easy because you've already titled this.
If I were to write a book about our marriage, oh yeah. Why? How is that the same thing?
No, you said you already have a title.
I know,
What's the title?
but wait, there's more.
Oh, I thought you were going to say the other one.
What other one?
You had said the this and that book. Hold on. Number 28. If death was moments away, What's one thing that you would want to say to each other? I would say thank you.
What? Why?
Because I'm going to die happy.
Bro, why would you say that? Look at the camera.
Nope.
Bro, why would you say that?
Because if that's where if it was gonna end and that was it, I have no choice. I can't make it any longer. I would look back and look at everything and be like, fuck. That was I'm gonna
That
finish.
I would agree.
I'd be,
That I would expect.
I would say I would be like, that was the
Oh,
best. Because you were there. I would say
bro.
thank you. And I'd be
Is it one word that you're allowed to say?
No,
What's one
I don't
thing?
know.
One
That's
thing
one
that
thing
you would want to
I
say
would
to
say
each
thank you.
other?
I would say thank you. What would you say?
Well, see, the way I see this is moments away from both of us. We're both going together.
I would still say thank you.
You know? No, I'm just telling you. What would we say to each other? You and me against the world, baby.
You and me against the world.
I'd hold your
Ooh,
hand.
that one got me.
I would hold your hand.
Bro, who's talking about death and stuff, bro?
This is definitely my
Leah.
family. This is definitely my family. Okay, how do you envision celebrating our next anniversary?
Let me see.
Where are we going? No,
Bon voyage.
not this one. The next one.
Oh.
Cherry
This
blossoms.
This is the next one.
No. They
We're
mean the
not-
next one.
Oh, the next one?
They
You're-
mean 26. We already have reservations. We're
Yes.
going to DC. We're
going
going
to
to the
DC.
museums.
Yes.
And
That's going to be so much fun.
oh, so excited. Cherry blossom season.
So much fun.
That's wonderful. And then the last one.
The last question at 2 hours
After
and 20.
25 years.
Uh-oh. Look, we only have 4 minutes left.
It's nice to know. What are
is-
your hopes
what
and
is
dreams?
yours- what does yours say?
What does it say? Where?
On the top.
Where?
Top left.
Top left, it says on.
Okay, that means I have the shorter. I have 3 minutes. Okay, let's go.
Okay, what are your hopes and dreams for the next 25 years?
Bro, I
Bro,
plan on having the absolute
Best time with
with
you,
you.
traveling the world, and just
making memories.
living our
enjoying
best
our life.
life.
I cannot believe that we have gone for 2 hours and
How shocking. I'm so sorry.
7 minutes.
Oh my God, 2 minutes and 30 seconds.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Goodbye.
thank you so much for being
Thank
here.
you for the questions.
The questions
Yes.
rocked. I love you.
You love me.
This is the best.
Antilli. We never talked about Antilli.
Antilli.
Oh,
Okay,
for
really
next
quick.
time.
Really quick.
Go.
Antilli. It's an acronym that we have for each other. We've been saying it to each other for a long time. We have it tattooed on our bodies. You have a chain that says Antilli. It's always know that I love you. I know that the no is misspelled, but I don't give a crap because that's how we do things. Missy, always know that I love you.
Hey, the best is yet to come,
The
baby.
best is yet to come. Like, subscribe, do all that other good stuff. I hope you enjoyed this video. This has been the most fun ever.
See,
I cannot
but
believe.
wait, there's more.
Wait, there's more. There's more. Come back next week. We are gonna have stories to tell you about our cruise.
Yes.
Wow.
And Fiddler on the Roof.
Bro,
Bye.
I cannot believe 2 hours and a half. Thank you guys for sticking around. I'm sorry we had to cut it short, but the questions were so many, and I
Yeah,
hope we
that's how it
answered.
is.
If you have another question, let us know. I'm gonna stop talking, baby. I love you. You're such a cutie. Let's go and enjoy the day.
Love you.
Goodbye.
Bye.